Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Larry and Mike Show. We are streaming live here with the CEO of iOgrapher, Dave Basulto. Dave, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me on, Larry and Mike. I'm excited to be here. I wish I was in Chicago having some pizza, though, right now.
Well, we'll have to have you come in and have some pizza with us.
Because in Los Angeles, there is no good pizza.
Right. Okay, let's get started here, Dave. Can you tell us what is your background with the iOgrapher and everything?
Well, just a quick story. I've been a jack of all trades my whole life, graduating from college, going into the Wall Street, working on the 63rd floor of the World Trade Towers, getting discovered as an actor by a casting director, being in Rocky V, my first movie.
Really?
Moving out to back to Los Angeles, and got into the acting game, did lots of television shows and movies for years. And then one day I was tired of going all these casting calls, decided to be a movie producer, and did my first movie called 18 Shades of Dust with Danny Aiello.
Okay.
And the rest of the cast was all the featured people that were in The Sopranos.
Oh, that's great.
And so we did that. It was my first movie. I became a producer, ended up working later for Mel Gibson's company, and then also Lifetime Television. I was an exec producer there.
Okay.
Retired from all that madness and got married and just got into digital filmmaking, and I made a little movie for $10,000 to scratch that directorial itch I always had in my life, and shot it on a little Canon or Panasonic camera that shot 24 frames per second. Coming from the dark ages, I couldn't believe I could do all this.
I know those, yeah.
Right? And I was able to edit it on a computer, and I mean, that was insane. And so I did all that. We sold the movie to Blockbuster for 6 figures.
Oh, that's great. Wow.
Just really dove into the whole business of that, and became an evangelist for Adobe products and their editing software and whatnot, and then got into becoming a high school teacher in media and animation. And I thought that I was going to do that for the rest of my life. And one day I decided to sketch out a little product because my students were starting to shoot videos with iPhones and iPads.
Right.
And I decided to, I thought we needed to have stability with them and to add microphones and to add lighting and lenses. What if we could do all these cool things with these mobile devices?
Right.
So I sketched this thing up, made a prototype, and the iOgrapher was born. I called it the iOgrapher, and it was I'll show you one right here. It's a case that lets you put your iPhone or iPad. This is the iPad Pro.
I like that, yeah.
And so now I've got this little 4K, well, this big 4K camera in my hands that I can go shoot my footage, come back, edit right on it, get it up to the web right away, and get interaction with people. I could live stream on it. I can do animations. I mean, these tools were unreal. So that's about 3.5 years ago. We're going to get into our 4th year, and I've retired from teaching. And the iOgrapher has taken off, and it's in 17 countries now. Steven Spielberg has one, and my life has changed dramatically.
Yeah, I can imagine. Now that would be how you got involved with video with your students and everything like that.
Right.
So you had to explain that. And the iOgrapher case that you showed, I like that. That is really nice. Mike has a smaller one that he'll put his iPhone in. You don't happen to have one there, do you? Do you
I might. I think I do. Hold on. Let me just come out of frame for
Maybe
1
if we
second.
could show that, real quick or something. That would be nice.
So this is the iOgrapher for
Mike's got.
iPhone.
Right.
And we actually, a ton of these, we sell a ton of these, and people like the BBC, CNN, lots of mobile journalists are starting to really take kindly to doing stuff with phones, They're just able to shoot great video with your iPhone now and throw a microphone on here or wireless microphone
Isn't
system.
that is really neat because
it's unbelievable.
It's light too.
It's very light.
You don't have to have a heavy camera.
It's light, compact. One of the BBC reporters, I believe it's Glenn Mulcahy is his name. He likes to go, he shoots his C.E.O. series in Europe in different countries. And he loves to take his iOgrapher for iPhone because it's very simple. So you have to bring all these lenses, big DSLR lenses or whatever. And
unbelievable.
This just fits in his pack.
Yeah. Can you talk about your online store a little bit, Dave?
So that's interesting. That's when we first, I mean, I'm pretty much trial by fire. I had no idea what being an entrepreneur was going to be like. I had no idea how I was going to make these things, what injection molding was. I just had a great idea, I thought, and I wanted to take it to market. So I had to learn all these things, and I decided, we would make these here in California. I didn't want to ship them overseas.
Right.
One of my students, I was very lucky. Her mom owned an injection molding company out
that's
here in
excellent.
California, so opened my eyes to what all that was, and she helped me create all my molds and everything.
Talk
so
about connections, huh?
it was crazy. So we made that all. We make them all out here, and we're just we put them up on an online store, and the BBC were actually the big life changers for us, because they right away liked to use our devices in their workflows. But they kept telling me, look, we love your stuff, but we want to be able to buy the microphones, the tripod, the lighting, we want lenses, we want all of that in one stop. I don't want to go to Amazon later or whatever. So I had to go out and introduce myself to companies like Rode microphones and Sennheiser microphones and Manfrotto and all the brands, and kind of show them what I was doing, and I became a reseller for all of their products. And right now we're one of the biggest stores on the web that sells, if not the biggest, that sells all equipment for mobile filmmaking and mobile journalism.
Now, when I see somebody on the BBC, on the news, or anything on the TV, will they be using your product at all when they're doing the news or shooting?
Depending on which channel it is.
Depending on what channel, okay.
Lots of sports. The Golf Channel uses it.
Oh, okay.
They used it for the World Cup down in Brazil. They shot a lot of stuff with their iPhone 5s.
Wow.
In our cases. And they do a lot of mobile journalism on the street type stuff, because it's just so unimposing, as opposed to coming with a big setup, filming somebody and just holding your iPhone. People connect with that better.
Right. Those iPhones and the iographers and everything are just amazing, the clarity in the picture. And as you and I know, Mike and I, we're really picky sons of people when we're doing a production, because you got to have a clear production and a clear everything, So I know exactly what you're talking about. And he showed me his when we used it on vacation. So I love it, love it.
It's just getting better and better. Every generation, they come out with something better. I mean, the new iPhone 7 Plus, if you're shooting stills with it, you can shoot in a depth of field mode where you just get these beautiful photos, and that's going to eventually trickle down into video too.
So you'll be able to zoom in or zoom out with your equipment.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, excellent.
We got telephoto lenses, wide-angle lenses.
Oh, great. Yeah, it beats carrying all that heavy equipment,
Put it in a small little backpack. You're good to go.
That's true. How active are you with social media, Dave?
Well, one of the things I take pride in is we're a very small company, very low overhead. My business partner was one of my parents of one of the people I taught when I was a teacher, and we become really good friends. And he's a senior attorney at Disney by day, so he knows the big overhead corporate-y thing. And he says, we're not going to run our company like that. We're going to be like nothing. So literally, it's my wife is the C.E.O, of course. She handles all the money and tells me what I can buy and can't buy. My partner Tony does the business end of it. I hired one of my former students who handles worldwide sales now. She's graduated from college since the last 4 years ago. And then I do product demonstrations, tutorials, social media, you name it. So how active am I in it? I've built our Instagram, for example, from 0 to 47,000 plus people in a few years that I have. And so, I'm doing live video once a week. In Facebook with a big show we do once a week. I do lots of little mini things. And I take pride that we've built this company on word of mouth and not spending any advertising dollars as far as the old ways of magazines or radio or television or anything like that. You don't need to do that anymore.
Will you do any trade shows? Will you go to any trade shows?
I do a lot. I do less now. But I used to do a lot of trade shows. The NAB show, for example, which you probably are familiar with. At least that was like our first big show. We would go there, and it's interesting because we would spend $20,000, $30,000 on a booth and all the hotels and everything.
Yeah, that's a lot.
And now I went to this recent show, had a dinner for a bunch of my vendors that sell our stuff. took them all out to a nice dinner, and got more work done in 2 days than being on the show floor for a week. So
Interesting.
I'm done with doing shows like that.
I hear you on that. I hear you. Dave, do you think live streaming is important in this day and age?
I think if you own a business or if you have a product or you're a personality, if you're not doing live video, then you're dead. You've got it. It's such a great way to interact with your clientele, with your followers, your customers,
right.
To really engage with them, so that you can put a human face on them. I mean, it's interesting when I go around to some of these, when I would go to conventions or just local places, and people are like, hey, you're that iOgrapher guy, or, and stuff like that. And I'm just like, wow, this is crazy that you guys know all this stuff.
And it's probably cost effective too when you're talking live streaming video to your clients.
Well, especially,
and you don't have to travel or anything like that, right?
You don't have to travel. You can, if you're a CEO,
right.
You can sit here and say, okay, guys, to my sales teams, let's do a live video. We can put it up on Facebook and maybe a private group so only they can see it.
Right.
And, hey, I'm going to talk to you about things I want done this week, and just really engage and talk with them. And so it's just, I mean, if you're the local business pizzeria down the street, show us how you're cooking every day. Show us some secrets. Show us some, make my mouth water, and engage with me, and I'll come and be one of your lifelong customers.
Yeah,
so
boy, that's excellent.
It's really important, very important.
You want to tell us a little bit about your book?
Oh my God! So if I'm not busy enough,
yeah, really.
I wrote a book called Life Camera Action: How to Turn Your Mobile Device into a Filmmaking Powerhouse, and very proud of it because the day we launched, we sold over 900 copies on Amazon, and it got to the bestseller list. So I get to say that I'm a best-selling author, wink, wink. But it was fun to do. Well, I can't say it was fun. It was a lot of work.
I know. Writing a book is a lot of work. You got to edit it, you got to redo it, and do this and do that.
Absolutely. It came from having so many emails of questions compiled of people asking the same things over and over. And I thought, either I do a bunch of video tutorials or let me write a book. And so I decided to do the book first. Of course, I'm going to do the videos as well.
Right, exactly.
And it's just been, there's some schools out there, about 4 or 5 of them already, that are using it as a textbook.
Nice.
And, it's just taken off. I'm very proud of it. It's a great business card. Oh, by the way, let me introduce you. Here's my book,
Right.
So it's really fun to have that. I don't think I'll ever write another one, but it was good to do once.
And, our viewing audience, they can go to your site or whatever if they'd like to see your book and everything like that.
It's also up on Amazon, of course.
Okay, on Amazon. Okay. Do you offer online tutorials, Dave?
Yes, in fact, we have a very active YouTube channel, and I'm actually launching later this summer a place called iOgrapher Academy.
Oh.
I'm working on my first course right now that's called Learn to Go Live, which is funny. We just talked about that. And it's basically taking you from not knowing anything about using these mobile devices to doing a live show where you could do 5 angles if you wanted to, and just really turning you into a pro, depending on which way you want to go. So we're going to have tons of tutorials there from 101 on up to, super advanced filmmaking technique. So that's my labor of love this summer.
So that might coincide with my next question about any advice for who's interested in iPhone video production would be what you just kind of explained, right?
I mean, you got the key things I would hear to take away is that get something to stabilize your phone or iPad. We certainly would love it if you use the iOgrapher.
Right.
But, there's probably some other choices, although we are the only case that has handles out there. We have a patent on that.
Oh, good, great.
Which is cool. So first and foremost, stabilize instead of just holding your phone and going, oh.
I know, because your hand can move no matter how steady you are. Isn't that interesting? It's it is crazy. Not crazy, but
Second tip is get your audio improved. Whether if you don't have a budget and you just want to put your phone, lean your phone up somewhere and get some audio, you know what? Use your earbuds that come with the phone.
Okay.
They're going to provide better audio than not having a microphone. If you can add a little bit more, I mean, you can get a nice Rode, for example, makes a small condenser shotgun mic that starts at $59.
Okay.
And it's going to take your audio up 10 levels, you know. But audio is key to really to capture this.
Kind of interesting you said that. I myself, I'm small potatoes here. You know, Mike, he's got so much equipment, and you know, he's got your product and everything like that. And I love your product and everything. And I have a Nikon.
We'll have to get you one.
Yeah, I have a Nikon, and it shoots in 1080p. And we were shooting some video, and it's amazing. Like you said, the size and the quality is just unbelievable. You know, and
I would challenge you with my 7 Plus.
Yeah.
And shooting video side by side your Nikon.
Well, we'll have to do that. You come to Chicago, we'll have to do that, you know? I would love to do that with you, you know? Like I said, I'm small potatoes here, Dave, you know, but, you know, hey, maybe, you know, I might upgrade. You never know, you know?
You never know.
You never know.
No, it's perfectly a fine camera. I have a Canon 5D, no, 7D that I have. I haven't touched it for a long time, but, you know, they're great cameras.
Yeah, and for me right now, it's fine for me, you know?
No, and I think the big thing is that we have all these in our pockets, especially the younger generation.
Right, exactly.
This is intuitive to them.
Right.
So let me teach them how to make better videos with these types of things.
Right.
Because they're out there documenting life every day. You know, whether they're doing Snapchats or Instagram or Facebook.
Right.
You know, so let's make them make a little bit of better video.
Yeah,
you know?
I could see that. I could definitely see that. Do you think your iOgrapher would be close to the studio cameras we're using here in the studio, or is it a different genre? Is it a different what's the word I'm looking for? Medium of production.
I think, you know, honestly, there's a new product that I'm playing with called the Sling Studio. It's by the makers of Sling Box. They're owned by the Dish Network, or actually a company called EchoStar. So they've got really deep pockets.
Oh.
They created this product that's a wireless router.
Okay.
That also captures and transcodes video. And I've been using the several iPads that have their app and connect to it wirelessly for my different views that I want. And I would say showing you something like that and comparing it to the cameras using in the studio, you would see that they're close.
Okay.
I think the studio, I mean, you just have the sensors bigger. You know, you've got different lenses and whatnot.
Different chips, how many chips are in the camera, and everything like that. Yeah.
They still have a little edge, but I can go set this up with all the things. Let's say I have a 4-camera shoot in my backpack. I can set this up in 2 minutes, all wirelessly, and live stream a multi-camera shoot.
No cables.
Well, maybe not Mount Everest, but I could do a multi-cam on Mount Everest.
Oh, that's excellent. Well, then, what would you recommend for equipment? I know you said you had the iPad iOgrapher. You have the other one. Any other equipment possibly that we did not cover or anything?
You want to get a case. You want to get a microphone.
Okay.
There, you know, you've got the basics. You can certainly use outdoor lighting, so you don't really have to get lighting.
Right.
But there's several different lights. I mean, we just got this Lume Cube that I love using. It's got filters on the front to diffuse the different thing. It's waterproof. It's awesome. I love that. There's wireless microphone systems that have 2 different microphones that you could do live, that you could do interviews with, and you know, put a flag on your microphone. And so depending on what you want to get into, whether it's filmmaking, mobile journalism, whatever, you know, maybe you're just trying to do corporate videos. You know, just the basics of having good audio and having the stability of an iOgrapher and a tripod.
How about stereo mics? We have stereo mics on the iOgrapher or no?
Stereo mics, that's something that I think will come eventually. Certainly we could bring multiple inputs in.
Yeah.
It's really app driven. There's no apps yet that will bring in stereo audio and video. You can get stereo audio into certain things,
excellent.
But you can't do stereo audio and video yet.
At the same
time.
I
think it's coming though.
Yeah, because Mike and I will use a stereo mic sometimes if we're shooting somewhere, and I really love the audio sound on that. It's just, you know, it's just amazing. It's beautiful, is what it is. But when like I said, when we used your product, when he on vacation, I loved it. I really loved it.
Yeah,
So.
there's so many great apps out there.
Yeah,
from
there is.
Free
Right.
to a few dollars, and
Sure.
it's funny. The app that I use every day is something called Filmic Pro. It makes the video much richer and better. It gives you a better bit rate when you're recording, and it's like a $9 app. And it's funny because people quaff at
Yeah,
that.
like
Oh,
$9? Yeah, what is that?
That's expensive. I'm like, man, you guys don't know what it was like back in the dark ages.
Right, right. I remember, and it's funny you say that. We used to shoot on VHS.
Oh, yeah.
Well, now, and then we did mini DV. Well, now we do DVD. And, so it progresses. And each one is different and each one is better.
Yes.
And, I wouldn't say I'm from the old school. I had an old 35 millimeter, and I can't tell you how many beautiful pictures I got from that. But then when I went to my digital camera, oh my gosh, I'm like, whoa, what was I missing here? And then your iOgrapher,
The only thing that I miss about the old, I had my first camera was a Minolta. It was beautiful.
Yeah,
had all these lenses. I took it to Greece and Italy. And you know what? I had to think about what I was going to shoot first because I had 24 shots on that roll, or maybe 36 if I was lucky. I couldn't just snap away everything I saw. So I had to really think about my shot, whereas people today are just, I'll just shoot whatever, and later I'll mishmash it up. And so I think that's the only thing I miss, and I try and teach, or I used to try and teach my students in high school to really plan the shot out,
Are your, did your students, do they know about film?
Not really. I've
they
taken
don't know
them
film
to,
before you introduce your product?
No, they're
not from the old school then, huh?
Although I forcefully made them watch once a month. We would watch an old black and white, and many of them either loved it or they thought it was the most painful thing in the world. From a Citizen Kane type of movie on up, and some people really got it and go, wow, this is a great story. To oh my God, this is boring. Where's the visual effects?
Well,
it's definitely a different generation.
It is a different generation, and the film sometimes might have had more depth and more texture and color, and then the new video out now, the live streaming is a different genre.
Different genre that just goes with the time, just like they were making films, Gone with the Wind, and all these things, and all of a sudden this thing called television came, and it was a whole different look. But it caught on, and this is taking by storm.
I wonder if they're still shooting in movies in film, and then they transfer it. Are they still? I think they're still doing that. Dave,
some directors absolutely say we have to, like Quentin Tarantino and a couple others. Right. I believe Spielberg still does, but people like George Lucas and there's a lot of the Star Wars stuff. I think they were shot on digital cameras. The Panavision has something called the Genesis, which is a gorgeous camera. Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson shot on the Red camera, which is all digital. In 6K, 6K image. It's great.
That's amazing. It's just amazing. Now, when some of the new stuff comes out, are you critical? Well, obviously you would be because you invented the iOgrapher, about how it looks and what kind of picture comes out. I'm sure you are, right?
As far as the mobile devices,
well,
you mean?
As production, what does it look like? Okay, yes, we have new technology, but is it the best? Is it what we're, does it look beautiful?
So the thing about that for me right now is that I think the technology is improving all the time. And like I said, the latest, from being an early adopter of the very first iPad up to where we are now with the iPhone 7 Plus that's got a beautiful 4K camera in it. It's just constantly improving. And I like to rely more on, or focus more on, the storytelling aspect of it because the students that I talk to and people that I work with are all storytellers, and now they can focus on telling their story and not so much on the technology, because the technology is very intuitive. You set up your shot, you press a button, it's all going to work for you, and you go do your thing. You put your mic on. I don't need to do, the old ways were much different,
Yes.
So you can really focus, and if you screw up, do it again. You didn't pay, it's not going to cost you anything.
That's true. Yeah.
Which is different than the way it used to be. Even with just tapes, So I like that it's giving people more opportunities to go. we give stuff away to schools all over the United States that are in need. Because I don't know if that next Steven Spielberg sitting there and just can't do anything because they don't have equipment.
Right, you don't know. Yeah, exactly, exactly. Well, I don't know, Dave. Looks like we've kind of covered about anything. Anything that we've forgotten that you wanted to say, or that we haven't covered, or anything, or?
No, I'm excited to be here. I think this is great that you guys are doing a show like this, and more power to you. Keep doing stuff like this, and because we need that. We need to see different aspects of what's going on in each city.
Yeah. We've got some more time, so we can kind of.
Okay.
We've got a little more time. At least 5. So,
okay, ask me anything.
Okay, let me see. Well, yeah. Okay, let me see. Let's say we pretty. That iOgrapher case is just amazing. So.
I could tell the funny story like I was telling you earlier about being in Chicago. So,
yeah, go ahead. That'd be great.
My second movie producing that I was a producer of was a film called Love in Action in Chicago. And I'd never been to Chicago, so I was excited to go there.
Oh, great.
A couple of funny things happened, though, in the production. One was our star was Kathleen Turner,
right?
Who was Hollywood royalty. And she said she had to wear Escada clothes. And right there on Michigan Avenue is the Escada store. Very prim and proper.
Yeah.
And so we had to close the store down so she would be fitted up for her stuff. And it's funny, so she had all this great equipment and clothing, I should say, very expensive. But it was like it was just strange sitting here with this award-winning actress watching her do all these different clothes things. So that was a lot of fun. We got to live at the water tower at the Ritz-Carlton.
I know where that is. I know exactly where that is.
Just so surreal to be doing this movie there. But I remember one of the biggest things was we thought we were going to save a few dollars by not hiring so many drivers and stuff like that, with the trucks and all that.
Right.
And I ended up getting a call from a very scary man who represented the Teamsters and said, if you think your trucks are going to move in our city without us, you're mistaken.
That's true.
So we had to make a deal, and I think it was the first time in my life I've ever dealt with organized crime. But
oh no!
But that was a lot of fun.
Now Dave's not admitting to nothing here. He's not admitting to anything here. No. Ladies and gentlemen, he's not admitting to anything.
No, I was never there. But
Did you guys use extras in your movie?
Lots of extras, lots of fun. We got to shoot in I can't remember the hotel there where President Kennedy came to speak at.
The Drake?
One of the big hotels there.
Maybe the Drake up there, maybe.
The Drake, that's it. Yeah. So we got
North
to shoot
Michigan
stuff
Avenue.
in there. Yeah, so that was a lot of fun, and I would have probably moved to Chicago had not the cold wind blew on my legs one day and froze them off.
I've had that problem. Let me tell you too. Dave, you're not alone on that problem. Well,
wonderful place.
Well, we're kind of running out of time here. I want to thank you, Dave, for CEO of the iOgrapher. Ladies and gentlemen, if you'd like to find out more about it, you can go to Dave's website. We'll have that up information. And if you would like his book, that's up to you guys. And this is fantastic, Dave. I really enjoyed speaking with you. And Mike and I are so glad and so proud that you took time out to be on our show.
You guys invited me. I'm very thankful.
It's just fantastic. So,
thank you, Dave.
Mike says thank you, Dave. As for Larry Conklin, Mike Micra, and Dave, I'll get your name right, Dave Basulto, CEO of iOgrapher. We'll see you next time on Public Access. Good night.